to the Milset World Virtual Young Citizens for Leisure Activities in Science and Technology. Milset presents this program to hear the concerns, proposals, and opinions of young people from all over the world regarding science and technology issues that affect humanity. And today we're in our third day of debates. We are very excited to welcome the YCC ambassadors who will talk about their opinions and proposals on how to invent a new world. My name is Liz Vela, Milset Communication Manager. Thanks for watching us. We will be streaming live through Milset Facebook and Milset YouTube channel. I want to give a big thank to all our authorities. Thank you to the Milset Executive Committee, to the Milset Honorary President, to the Milset Regional Executive Committees, the Milset YCC Committee, and Milset members for all the support. And of course, all the audience that is watching this great event. To start with the official welcoming of this debate session, I would like to introduce Mr. Dries Lordy, our Milset Africa President. Dries, the mic is yours. Okay, thank you very much. We'll have some issues with the mic of Dries, but he will connect in a second. I would like to introduce our participants.
It's okay.
Okay, Dries is here. Thank you, Dries. So let's listen, Dries.
Thanks, Liz. I say that I greet warmly our ambassadors. Hola, bom dia, salam alaikum, hello, marhaba, ni hao. Welcome to audience from the 5 continents. As you know, the aim of Milset is to engage youth in science and technology in order to create fraternal network based on sharing, on solidarity and respect. The finality is to build knowledge society of tomorrow. The famous French microbiologist Pasteur, the inventor of rabies vaccine, I let you imagine the impact of this discovery at that time with regard to what humanity is experiencing in the COVID-19 era. Pasteur said that science has no homeland. In Milset, we believe also that the language of science is a powerful engine to promote peace and the dialogue between civilizations, between cultures. Milset history has been written by great people. I take the opportunity to thank them, thanks to Jean-Claude Guérodon, the founder of this movement, and his early disciple remain faithful and active even today, Carole Charlebois from Quebec, Edna Elmi from Kuwait, and others. Thanks to the new generation who took up the torch, Roberto Hidalgo, our faithful and engaged president from Mexico, Ronnie Barlow from Canada, and Ksenia Sarnikova from Russia. A big thanks to all the Milset members of the 5 continents. A big thanks to Barry, to Liz, and Jose, who ensure success of the YCC. Naturally, I congratulate our young ambassadors who participate brilliantly to YCC. I was really impressed by their maturity, by their eloquence, by the quality of their proposals. The topic today is the environment, a really crucial subject because it concerns our future as humankind. The COVID-19 pandemic just showed us the vulnerability of our ecosystems and this clearly reveals and demonstrates the impact of humans on the environment. This pandemic warns us that if we continue to act in this way, we will risk, like Frankenstein, to create the monster that turns against us as humans. Naturally, I wish another desirable scenario more optimistic. I'm sure that with your collective intelligence, you will invent a new world more resilient, more peaceful, more responsible, more united, more fraternal, more respectful of the nature. Thank you for your listening. Dear Barry, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Tris. And well, now it's time to introduce our participants of this debate session. Let's start with Vinicius Vini Ribeiro de Moraes from Brazil. Please say hi, Vini. From Indonesia, I'm Rita Wikara. From Saudi Arabia, Dana Abdullah Alufili. From Mexico, Montserrat Hermosillo Ortiz. From Turkey, Nargis Inal. From the United Arab Emirates, Shahad Mohammed Al-Fahili. From Indonesia, Delia Fintepani. And last but not least, from Chile, Gustavo Alejandro Vera. Thank you guys for being here. Now I will explain the general rules for this debate session. So we will start, participants will listen, our moderator, Ms. Bere Suarez, will be moderating this table for today. And she will read some facts related to the topic in the first stage of the YCC process. After that, she will indicate to all the participants to open the mic correspondingly as they hear their names. So please remain your mics off until you hear your name, please. Finally, after that, Bere will start the discussion with all these ambassadors. And after this, we will have a period of time to let our ambassador think about the proposals that we'll give to the world. And finally, we will hear their conclusions. Now, it's time to present Mrs. Bere Suarez, Milset Managing Director. Please, the mic is yours, Bere.
Thanks so much, Liz, and welcome everybody. Welcome, guys. Welcome the audience that are watching this transmission. Well, as Liz mentioned, we already know what is the methodology that we will follow. So let's start. Regarding the facts that we will share with you, dear participants, we will start with the one that has this information. According to CNN and the World Resources Institute, we are now facing a drop in carbon output. But even though we will see a massive fall, the concentration of carbon dioxide that are in the atmosphere and warming our planet won't stabilize until the world reaches net zero. It means that we will still have to work in the transit to a low carbon economy and remove carbon to balance our remaining emissions. Another fact that will help us to have this discussion says, as mentioned in a Springer link and National Geographic, The environmental impacts in the short term are harder to calculate due to the delays of current policy development and less effective ecological regulations. For example, in Brazil, illegal loggers have accelerated the destruction of the Amazon forest, facing the most significant deforestation in more than a decade. Not to talk about plastic waste, that according to science, we are leading to inappropriate management strategies, including mobile incineration, direct landfills, and local burning of garbage, such as personal protective equipment, packaged take-out meals, and home delivery groceries, among others. And also, according to the UN Environment Programme, green economy is a macroeconomic approach focused on investing in green economy activities, infrastructure, and skills. Green economy is supported by the sustainable consumption and production, which refers to policies, tools, and practices focused on capacity building, eco-friendly production, and responsible consumption. Some countries have worked for many years on this matter to set projects such as renewable energies, organic agriculture, sustainable urban planning, and forest management, to mention some of them. So based on those facts, we will start thinking and asking you some questions to start the debate. So based on this, on the first fact that we have here, it is really proof that the emissions of carbon dioxide and the air pollutants in the world have been dropped down dramatically during this pandemic. So can we infer that this pandemic is beneficial for the humanity related specifically on the climate? So I want to hear your opinion, Amrita.
I wouldn't say that it's completely beneficial for our climate. Of course, as you mentioned before, there are some temporary positive impacts like travel and flight restrictions, which causes less pollution. And then when there's lockdown, there's less business activity, less factory activity, which decreases pollution as well. But when you really think about it, there are other sides to that story that you should really consider when talking about the climate. So, for example, I noticed that me personally, online stores have been really thriving during the pandemic. And that means more packaging being used, more deliveries. And in my personal experience, at least in my country, Indonesia, there aren't a lot of stores that use environmentally friendly packaging. And so they use a ton of plastic, they use a ton of bubble wrap, styrofoams, and when people receive the package, they throw the packaging away, and this accumulates and harms the environment. So that's definitely one thing that we should consider. And another thing is how all this is temporary. The decrease in pollution, and some studies even show that after the pandemic ends, they predict that there will be a surge in the carbon output that will exceed our output pre-pandemic. So it will become worse. And because of this, I think that we can't really categorize just because one data says that there has been less pollution to completely say that the pandemic has been beneficial for the climate, because there are definitely other sides to that argument. And yeah, I think if I had to say that are there positive impacts of the climate, then I would say yes. But then if I were to have to judge if it's completely beneficial or not, then I would have to say no.
Okay. Thanks so much, Amrita. What about you, Vinny, that you are in Brazil? Your mic is off, my dear. No worry.
Sorry. In Brazil, this impact is so badly because we have the Amazonian forest that you know, and the impact they fire the locals. So we increase the use of the carbon, but we can see not in Brazil but on the world, like the New York, we decrease 20% the use of nitrogen gas. So we can perceive a different point. But as the previous person said, we cannot
Sabrina?
be. Yeah, I forgot her name. Sorry, but there is a point to not consider just this. We have to consider that the packages we use on the home are getting on the space before after. So it's the point. I think that's the accumulation, the accumulation of the concentration of the garbages will increase unfortunately the the emission of the gas. Like to Daniel to like to did you know what's the harness energy of the garbage? It's a pretty thing. It's a perfect thing that you want that you can harness these things. So it's a point that you consider. But in my opinion, it's perfect to the climate. So we have another point to consider, like to the harness the energy of the packages.
Thanks so much, Vinny. So both of you agree on the fact that the pandemic has raised a good points in some parts of the climate related on dropping some pollutants emissions and so on in the air, but it is not for the future. It is not something that we will stop. It's something that we will increase, right? Okay, and well, we will go a little bit further in this question. And based on this, do you think that green economy is a good way to start moving forward and to avoid this kind of post-pandemic results related on climate? What do you think, Nigeris?
I would actually, I think that a green economy would be a great start because to look at from a different point of view, actually, many articles and many scientists predict that cause of pandemics are now climate change and deforestation. So it's actually this is basically what we have done to ourselves. So if in order to actually avoid these pandemics again and also to protect our own world basically we should go by green economy, and we should all of the countries in the world should find a common ground and a common policy that they can agree on, and then we should go on by that, in my opinion, because this isn't this yes, this is the first pandemic that we have seen. Actually, personally I have seen, and many of us seen, but this might not be the only one, and there may be more. So my opinion is the most basic policies that countries should agree on are deforestation, because this is deforestation is not affecting only a country, it's affecting the whole world. For example, the Amazon. And also reducing air pollution would not only help future pandemics, also this pandemic, because this virus affects a respiratory system. So this would both beneficial for this one and the future ones, and to prevent them, actually not to avoid them, but prevent the pandemics that we might have faced in future. Yeah.
Okay, Naidi, you're right, maybe. But the point here is, what do you think, Shahad? The idea that Naidis is telling us fits what is happening in UAE about green economy and green technologies? Shahad, the mic is yours.
Can you say the question again, please?
Yeah, the point here is to know what is happening in UAE. Is the green economy and the green technologies has been applied? Do you think that these technologies will support to avoid this kind of post-pandemic issues that we will have, like deforestation, as Naiji says, and for sure the plastic waste and all these kind of things?
Mm-hmm. Actually, UAE is trying to build a sustainable future for the next generation. Okay, so they have developed methods that called UAE Green Development Strategy that help achieve the UAE Vision 2021. So they make an unlimited effort to achieve a green economy, and this effort included limiting oil and gas burning, developing profitable technology for all, as well as carbon and storage technology. In addition to change effective and environmental sustainable standards. So as I said, that UAE is trying to help and build a sustainable future for all.
Okay, thanks so much. What about Delia? What is happening in Indonesia?
Well, in Indonesia, a little bit green economy already happened in our country. It was like, for example, for pursuit for economic growth, like for the development. For example, we already do the organic things, and we everyone is asking to use the green things and go green and do everything. And I think that is all. Our government asked us to support all our go green in Indonesia. So I think that's all. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, the point here is, for example, Indonesia, it's a place with a lot of natural resources, such as rivers. You have the sea, you have a lot of forest. So you are thinking that what you are seeing as a green technologies, for example, using the water as a source of energy, or the air or something like that, is being using.
Yeah.
In Indonesia, and also if these kind of technologies will help us to reduce the situation that will happen after pandemic, because after pandemic, as your colleague says, we are like waiting or expecting some other problems, like that increase of the waste from mask and other things. So do you think that these technologies will support it, especially in Indonesia?
Maybe yes, because as a third country that has the big forest, about the things that what already Amrita said before, I think the new problems that we face is about a mask, and also the hazmat that used by a medical personnel. So in the certainly times, it can disturb the animal's life. And with all of this problem, I really want to encourage everyone not just to doing a green things, or like a 3R, reduce, reuse, or recycle. We also start from now to using a cloth mask and not a disposable mask or that. And also, if Indonesia have that things, make a new technology to reduce that, it would be great. But I don't know that much about that. But we already try to reduce the use of the disposable mask and to reduce the garbage that made by this pandemic.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Delia. And in Chile, also from Latin America, that now is represented by Gustavo, we want to know what is happening in Chile. What is your opinions about if you have green technologies there in Chile, and also if you think that this pandemic is giving us is beneficial or just some helping us some in some part, but it is not completely beneficial. If the mic is yours, Gustavo.
In Chile, is still not got a policy about the environment of conservation and the population. This is a very important part about of the bioresources. And
don't worry, take your time.
It's important because the natural resource is of protection in Chile because for the economy is so important, and in Chile don't have a conocement of the importance of the biodiversity.
Okay, so you think that it is important to start working in spreading the information about the knowledge about diversity and how to protect it. This is good. And so if all of you agree on that, we need to work together in some kind of things to prevent the post-pandemic issues that we will have. So what do you think will be the most important point to go in for regarding the impact? So what do you think will be the most complex situation that in your country will face after pandemic? Is related on the environment, is related on the economy, is related on the energy? What do you think will be the most complex situation related on the environment that we will face? Nairis, if you want to support us, please.
Sure. Actually, Turkey has established ambitious goals in the previous years, and in areas including pollution control, waste management, combating climate change, and all. And actually, we are started by small steps to solve the issue, and we have started to use renewable energy sources like geothermal and wind sources, and also solar panels. But these cost a lot in Turkey. Using renewable energy is actually this is something interesting, but it's more expensive than non-renewable energy sources. This is the main issue for Turkey. Turkey is facing at the moment, and I'm not sure about other countries, but I think they face the same thing too, because it's harder to harness energy from renewable energy sources than non-renewable energy sources. So this will be the problem that Turkey will face, I think, after the pandemic, because we are trying to increase the use of renewable sources, and actually it's getting more harder and harder for Turkey to do that, though we have started and we are going on pretty good right now. And also, I think the problem is actually the use of disposable masks have increased a lot in Turkey, and I think in every country, because I can see on the news, and my peers and everyone actually sees on the news. And these disposable masks, we can even see them on streets, and the animals eat them. We see them in the sea, and we see them all around us. And so I think this is not only a problem that Turkey will face, but all over the world, this problem will be faced with the use of disposable masks and waste management, I think.
Thanks so much, Nairis. So now I want us to hear what is happening in Saudi Arabia. Please, Dana, could you let us know? And also, could you let us know about what is these challenges that you are thinking that will happen after pandemic? If you could speak a little louder, my dear, because we can hear you. a little bit louder, please.
Can you hear me now?
Better.
I'm sure you all know Saudi Arabia for its oils, as we like to call it black gold. And now Saudi Arabia is
a little louder, my dear. Sorry to interrupt you because we are like losing a little bit your sound.
Can you hear me now clearly?
Clearly, yes, but it's very low. If you want to just speak a little louder.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
More or less, but go ahead.
Okay. Saudi Arabia is known for its oil, as we like to call it black gold. But we have a vision, it's called 2030 vision, that will internally change the kingdom's approach to renewable energy. Because now we are fully dependent on oil, but we have a lot of solar system that we can use, as in solar panels and renewable energy. So now we're trying to invest in the solar panels, and if you have seen Saudi Arabia for about 10 years before now, you'll see a big change in our kingdom, because now people are more aware of it, aware of the renewable energy that we are trying to accomplish. So we are trying to focus on our solar panels and a geothermal and nuclear energy. It's all part of the 2030 plans. While we are trying to accomplish the 2030, we faced a lot of challenges.
Correct.
As Ned just said, it's really expensive, and we're not really used to using or depending on renewable energy. So the government put in a 200 billion investment in the all sorts of green energy that we'd like to help accomplish our plans. Now, because of COVID, we thought that it would get in the way of our vision, but it actually helped a lot. During the lockdown, we started the government started to put the solar panels all around the cities. So if you walked by, you'll see a solar panel besides a sidewalk. They're just trying to see if it's really effective and can be dependent instead of oils. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Dana. Yeah, and I want to ask something, because many of our countries that we are talking, their economy is based on oil, and maybe thinking in a green technologies could be a little against our economy. So do you think that going back to green economy or green technologies will help us to recover economy so fast, or we must to continue with the oil economy based and continue with the normally way of living? So Montserrat, could you give us your opinion, please?
So,
yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
No, go ahead. I talk after. Go ahead.
Thanks so much, Vinicius.
Sorry. Was it me or Vinicius? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Montserrat, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Well, I think that question is really important, and we haven't realized the importance of oil in our economy, at least here in Mexico. Basically, with the economic stability depends on the oil most of the times. When there was the problem of oil this year, the economy of Mexico got affected for a real moment. The dollar went, the Mexican peso got devaluated. But therefore, I think what we need to do, we need to realize and be objective on how our countries are going to be able to change to green economies, to green and sustainable ways of renewable energy, because I think in the case of Mexico, it's going to be really hard to make this change. We must do it, and it's going to affect our economy because Also, something important is like the change of mentality and the change of government from the United States, because as the elected president Joe Biden, at least his proposals are regarding turning United States of America back to the Paris Agreement. Therefore, if Mexico doesn't change the way of the amount of carbon dioxide released to the atmosphere, our economy and our taxes are going to be affected. Therefore, I consider that in this case, this is going to affect our economy definitely, but in a short term. We have to see furthermore and see how this is going to affect our economy and our world in a future term. So I would consider that Mexico, in this case of Latin America, should start like evolving and getting involved into green type of energy, but also keep going on and trying to reduce like little by little the production of oil, because I think it's a really important part of the economy of Mexico, and right now has a lot of problems socially, economically, and in the health area. And we cannot like give us like the advantage, unfortunately, to change completely to these green economies in a few short time of time.
Correct. Okay, what about you, Vinny, in Brazil? Your mic is up, my dear, also.
My God, every time, sorry.
No problem.
And so in Brazil, like to other countries, we have our energies, our fonts of the energy. But what happened? We have to focus on what can I do? Because thinking about, oh, the human person, it's the problem of the human person. When you can see nothing after far forward, we cannot see. So if we can see a difference of the yesterday for today, I think the people can think on more on something better to the future. Focus on first on the Brazil. The Brazil is the thermoelectric font of the energy. For my experience, I had a project that harnessed the the thermal energy of the human to on account of the difference of the temperature to build a system of watch. So if we construct this in a high case, in high demand, we can put in the stove kitchen to remove of the color, or if we look to the high things, we can look to the cars. The cars has a high temperature on the top of the car on account of the sun. So we can provide, we can harness all of these things. So if we think on what we can do, nothing will be improved. We can think on what we can better, man. We can improve the things. So I think it's not for Brazil. I think it's all of the world, all of the countries. Focus on what can do first.
Okay, perfect. And well, we are like so close to finish this debate session, but I would like to give you like a time to think about and to imagine what are the main changes that you have been witness in your country about the environment due to this pandemic, and what will be the changes that you want to see after the pandemic in a positive way. And also you can tell us like, okay, you have been witness about negative way the changes in your environment, but the good point is to think about what will we want, or what do we want for the next steps after this pandemic ends. So let's start with Shahad, please. Could you let us know your thoughts?
My thoughts that after the pandemic, what will happen?
How do you imagine your environment will change after pandemic, and how has changed now during the pandemic?
Okay, sure. Actually, after before a few months in the quarantine, like there is no a lot of cars, and there's no a lot of companies are working, so we can't, like, the environment is more clean. Like, actually, fun fact that I can see the
Sorry, Shahar, we have a little bit problems with your sound. I think Shahar has a problem, but we will come back when she is ready. So let's go to, well, move to Dana. Could you let us know your opinions, please?
I noticed during the lockdown that a lot of local businesses are being more eco-friendly. So if you ordered food, they'll ask you if you want extra forks or if you don't want it. If you ordered something that would come with a lot of packaging, they'll ask if you want to reduce the packages. So that's a really positive thing that happened during the lockdown. And I predict that after the lockdown, we raise more awareness for more businesses, local or international businesses in our country, and even the whole world, about the reducing the amount of packaging, the amount of cars. We live in a desert as Saudi Arabia, but we noticed that it wasn't really that hot in here, even though it was summertime. So we noticed a change in our climate for a little bit. So people got really excited and thought, why did it change all of a sudden? That's because we didn't use a lot of cars. So now we're building more bus stations, and more public transformations, so we can use and reduce the uses of cars.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And what about you, Najers, in Turkey?
Yeah, there were actually good things and bad things, both of them, like as always. And the best thing was that people had actually gained awareness about the issue, because when you are stuck at home and think about you don't have anything to make yourself busy with. So people started to raise their awareness on the issue of environmental issues, and many people have started to go to rural areas of the country and the cities. So they have seen the change, actually, because the change was actually really obvious. The animals have returned to their habitats, most of them, when people just when all of the people stayed at their home in lockdowns, and we have faced it with our own eyes. And also, air pollution decreases as in every country, because the the cars and things, when people are at home, the transportation and all have decreased. And also, the more eco-friendly buses have become popular in the current quarantine in the city I'm living in, especially. Also the only problem is the waste. I think waste management. Actually, Turkey is good at waste management, and Turkey is a collector of waste in Southeast Asian countries, and the only problem that we will face will be disposable masks, in my opinion. But other than that, actually, this pandemic has taught us a lot of things.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And but we will try to go a little bit faster because of time. But okay, I will give the word to Amrita, and after that to Bini, to give us your opinions about this. How do you imagine, and what has you been witnessed in your area and in your environment?
Okay, I'm gonna go really fast. So what I've noticed, like during the pandemic and still until to this point, is one, definitely the increase of waste, and whatever type of waste as previously mentioned. And it's still hard for Indonesia because we're not as effective in waste management in comparison to other countries, for example, like Turkey. And another thing, this is actually a positive thing, but the decrease in pollution, and this is a huge thing, especially where I live. because I live near the capital city of Indonesia, which is Jakarta, and you literally cannot see the blue sky in normal days. But because of the pandemic, whenever I go outside, you can already see the clouds, and you can tell that nature is being restored. But as we progress back to normal life and no more lockdown, all that is beginning to disappear again, and pollution rates are starting to increase all over again. So what I hope for Indonesia is for us to learn what we've achieved in terms of the climate and in terms of helping the environment, and to maintain that in terms of pollution control and how to effectively manage our waste in terms of crises like this. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Just Bini, it's your turn, and after that, I will come back to Shahad because she had a problem with internet, and then with Montserrat, but we have very few minutes. So go ahead, Bini. Your mic, my dear.
Of this debate, but so in Brazil, mainly we focus on our source of energy is so good, but talking about of the pollution, the pandemic teach to us all of the things, because we can see all of our rivers. There is on Rio de Janeiro, where I live, there is a river. And today it is liquid. It is so pretty blue, so we can see the difference of the before. So talking about the energy, I think the Brazil can see a difference. Talking about the pollution, we can focus more on the seeing the difference, as well. So we can focus and see another tomorrow. I think seeing the difference of we have today, we have a good point to follow.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So Shahad, are you ready to finish your participation, my dear?
Yeah, sure. As I said, that the factories and the cars have been stopped during the quarantine, and the CO2 have been increased. Okay, so the environment have been very much, the most clear and beautiful ever. So as we going in the few months before that, step by step to let the life come as before, and I don't think so that like it will harm the environment in UAE, because we are going slowly, so nothing like to be better. Yes.
Okay, thanks. You. So what about you, Montserrat, in Mexico?
Well, I think there are like many factors that are affecting the environment here in our country, but it's something that I have seen that is really clear in our society now in 2020. I can see a really interesting and hopeful change of mentality in the young people, also sometimes on the older ones. But I think like these youth in our country, in Latin America, and all over the world are changing their perspective of how to be sustainable. Also, something that is hard and I think should be changed in at least in Latin America is that the policies that are made for protecting not only like the climate change, like not only for reducing it, but also for protecting the ecosystems is not being made in a proper way, because in this way, like most of our countries, like including Mexico, is focusing more on like taking the decisions from the upper part, from the government, but they are not considering how these decisions are affecting the people that are living in this environment, the people that live like in nature and work with it. I think like for making real changes and protecting the environment and the ecosystems, and to keep like using them like as they give our ecosystems like all the services they give us, we need to make an alliance between countries and between the governments of each one of those countries and of the people that are working directly with it, and also consider how much is like, yes, industries that come in Mexico like are like mostly foreigners. They come from other countries to invest in our country. And it's good for us because we are like a country in development, but therefore we have to be conscious that how much is this worth for? Is it worthy to have millions of jobs of millions of people in Mexico, or having a great and bad climate change damage regarding of the non-protection of the environment due to these policies? I think that's something we need to reflect of.
Okay, thanks so much. Well, just so fast, we will hear at least the last Gustavo, and after that we will start with this timing for having a conclusion. So, Gustavo, could you give us your opinion? What do you think that have changed in Chile about your environment, and how do you imagine what will happen in the future after pandemic?
The care and protection of the planet is everyone's job and responsibility. As young people, we must be in charge of spending and valuing our natural resources. The benefits are keeping the planet healthy and promoting an conscious and sustainable society, living in harmony with the natural environmental, to promote a great education policy in the establishment worldwide in Chile. On a couple of years ago, this matter began to be promulgated.
Okay, well, so guys, I need that all of you be ready. And for the audience, it's important that all of you know that in this moment we will take just 3 minutes in order that all of our ambassadors take the time to think about all what we have discussed and to think about these risks and benefits that all of you have shared. And after that, give us a conclusion. And the most important thing is making 2 proposals based on what we heard about the plastic waste or the mass waste, and about pollution and about green economy and green technologies. The idea is that you can give us 2 proposals. So for the audience, we come back. So please do not go out from this transmission. And in this moment, we give this space for the masterminds, our ambassadors. Well, thanks everybody, and welcome back the audience that are watching this transmission. As for all the ones that haven't access before to the transmission, we let 3 minutes to the participants and to our ambassadors to think about the conclusion and to prepare their conclusions regarding all the topics that we have talked today about green economy based on green ecologies, about waste, the problem of waste like a plastic or mask or many things, and about the situation of how the environment have changed in the planet, but also in their specific countries. And after that, to check what is the risk, what are the benefits, and make a proposals. For the timing, maybe we will share just one proposal per each of our participants, and after that, our participants, we will have the opportunity to fill the report in order to gather all their thoughts and their opinions, and we will share it by a link in the email. So guys, are you ready for sharing your knowledge and your opinions? Perfect. So let's start. If you agree with Vini from Brazil, let's check your mic, please, and give us your opinion, please, Nadir.
No, I got it. So, of the work, as I said before, we have to focus what the difference for the yesterday and today. But the world have to thinking mainly the Americas, because in Brazil we have a good source for the energy. So, but in the Americas mainly, we have to focus what can I do for the energy, because in the American states we can see the 8% of their energy is used on oil and the petroleum. So it's a wrong way to follow, and include inside of Brazil. No, there is a risk because we thinking now, I can do it to improve, but the persons are prepared to do this, our placements are prepared to do this, there is a consequence, but we have to think in the improvements, not in the risks. We have to focus on the risks, but not put on the mind, oh my god, if I put on the mind that the thing is not so good, how can I imagine so different for the world. So in the focus primarily on Brazil, we have the deforestation. Deforestation is a big problem on the Amazon. So if we stipulate one local specifically for the person who drags the local to take care of their case, it should be better because the foods of primarily on the steak, on the everything that is so better, like to the vegan stuff. If we think about that, we can stipulate some local, because if we stipulate something, we can to improve diminish the problem of the deforestation, but not that we can better the situation for the animals. Not all of the animals have to be died to better our world. So I think this that the world have to thinking on what energy would be better for the future, and on Brazil thinking on stipulating one local to take care of our properties to build another better local. It's my thought.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, Vini. So let's move to Gustavo from Chile. Could you give us your opinions and your final conclusions, please? Yeah, your mic is on.
Education the population and making them see the caring for the environmental and our natural resources is beneficial for not only for us, but also for future generations when the planet use its resources and all its benefits, but in a moderate, non-invasive way.
Okay.
Motivate the entire population to use the sustainable and renewable resources respective of the countries. For example, in Valdivia, southern Chile, the direct rainwater. In my city is rain constantly. And finally, I invite you, everyone, to responsible for the conservation and maintenance for the planet and the natural resources.
Okay, thanks so much, Gustavo. Let's move and cross the sea and go to Indonesia. Let's start with Delia, please.
Okay, thank you for the time. For now, I want to conclude about what we already talked. So, with all the problems that we already talked earlier, in my opinion, we should start to use a cloth mask, so we don't use the disposable mask anymore, and we have to make a purchase of goods by shipping media without any waste of plastic, such as by using cardboard or wooden box. And also, in my country, we are experiencing economic recession, and it may be difficult to restore or this economic situation to be normal. So at least the green economy activity is still being pursued in my country or in other countries. So in this effort to restore the economy, it will still allow us to do in the green economy and the use of renewable energy, even it is so expensive, such as the solar energy. And then for me, the development of this energy doesn't take place so quickly to restore the economic after this pandemic, but at least we are not in a process for destroying our earth. So it seems that without coronavirus, we still can make an effort to fix these climate problems, these environmental problems by promoting various efforts such as make a mini garden at our home, make use of herbal goods, and reducing the use of public transportation that I mentioned earlier. And for my proposals, because I'm a student, I really want to promote the paperless. So with this thing, we can prevent the deforestation, just like what Fini already said about the Amazon. And also in my country, in Indonesia, there's a lot of illegal logging happen and the deforestation that happen without any permission. So in this new era, we can make use of our technology effectively. Like we can take our notes by using our computer, handphone, or tablet. So we can make the technology to recycle the paper so that we already usually use for everyday needs. And my second proposals, it might be we can reduce the use of something that can make a pollute. So we use the green products like a bag that made from cassava, or straw that made by organic waste, and etc. And also we can use the renewable energy like what I've mentioned before. Thank you very much. That's all what I say.
Thanks so much, Delia. So let's move so fast and move it to Saudi Arabia. So please, could you give us your opinion and your conclusions, Dana?
In my opinion, there is a lot of negative things that happen with the pandemic, but we sure are using a more beneficial outcome of it, as we saw it raised more awareness to our climate and environment. So in conclusion, we should really listen to the newer generation, because I think we are more aware of the environment, and we should continue using more reusable stuff, as in packaging or as in reusable energy. We should continue that path, and it would really help us as in all, not just my country, as the whole world. Because if we continued the way we are, we're gonna at the end destroy our country, not the country, the whole world. So we should choose a more beneficial ways to send packages, or to transfer, to just use public transformations. And yeah.
Okay, thanks, Anna. Sorry, guys, because we are losing a lot of time. So I need that you be a little bit faster. Sorry for the next ones, but we are like a little close to the finish of this session. And let's go and move to Amrita from Indonesia, please. Go ahead.
So my proposed solution would be to collaborate with other parties, organizations, and countries globally. I think joining our policies together and helping one another by supporting each other in terms of funding or in terms of knowledge for adopting a greener energy within each of our countries. That's something that Indonesia has been doing, but needs to maintain and commit to it. And again, this issue should be a priority for all of us. And I think this needs to be emphasized even further, not only for society, but for the government as a whole to really make a change.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And move to Montserrat from Mexico.
Sorry, synthesizing like all my conclusions, I will definitely focus on three main things and three main phrases. It would be like environmental education, because in this way we can create like a critical point of view from all the population in all around the world to realize what is good and what is bad for the environment and from themselves. Also, like to fight greenwashing, because that's a really bad thing that is happening to us nowadays. My other proposal is alliances, as most of of my my experiments have just said, alliances for accomplishing the objectives, because we have to work together, not apart, because in this way, this is a matter that is worth for all of us. And I think one of the most important things, finally, is the reduction of inequalities all around the world, because social inequalities, all these social problems that have been like increasing nowadays, are completely related with climate change. And what happens to one of us happens to all of us. So I think we have to work in that place in order to start like making a great change with all the perspectives of all the people.
Thanks so much, Montserrat, for your participation and your conclusion. Going forward, go to Shahad from United Arab Emirates. Please give us your conclusions.
Of course. So first of all, I think that everything if you want to change, we change individually, okay, from the person. So we can't say the mask is the reason for the environment that it's bad, or the toxic gas, because who started all of this? The people, the person. So we must to work together for everyone and change from ourselves. So we don't throw the mask on the floor so animals can eat it, because animals can't think that they can take anything. We can't like the factories, we don't use it. We have like to put a limit for the toxic gas, because this is so bad for the environment, and that's what make the earth worse. So the pandemic showed us that the people are the reason for all of these things, and we really need to change ourselves. So my proposal is let's change better humans for better earth. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Shahad. And finally, but at last but not least, Nigis, could you let us know, please?
Sure. So my proposal, I have only one proposal, actually, to make it short. Actually, we have always talked about waste management and how waste have increased all over the world during this pandemic. And one of the waste type of waste that increases medical waste, and all of the IV catheters, IV drips, catheters, and many disposable masks even are counted as medical waste. And so my proposal will be for government to support projects of young scientists, maybe young people, about this issue, medical waste, and about medical areas, so that we can even decrease the waste of medical waste. For example, just to give a short example, I had a partner, and we have done a project this year. Though it wasn't mainly about waste, it decreased medical waste by not decreasing the use of suspensions in order to dose formulations for children. Though this isn't directly about decreasing the medical waste, it has decreased the medical waste and also has could improve the health system in really good ways. So my proposal is for the government to support young minds, because actually the awareness of the young minds are more than the other generations right now, and to support them financially and also mentally. And yeah, this is my proposal.
Good. Well, guys, thanks so much for all your support and all your amazing ideas. We will close this session, and I give the mic to my colleague Liz in order to give us the closing remarks and the new information for the future editions. So thanks so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Bere. Thank you all of you. As yesterday and the day before, we were super excited watching our YCC ambassador for this debate table. We want to thank everybody for watching. We have a lot of greetings from Chile, from Turkey, from Indonesia, Brazil, saying how proud are they of our YCC ambassadors, from Kuwait, from Morocco, from Tunisia, and well, from Mexico too, and a lot of countries that are watching our young scientists that will help us to live in a better world and reinvent the world. So thank you very much, everybody. Please watch us tomorrow in the fourth day of conference, debate tables, and let's see what surprises we get with our YCC ambassadors. Don't forget to follow us on social media. You will find all the schedules and the timing in your country to watch the YCC conferences. And well, see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the people who has made this streaming possible. My colleagues, Bere, Jose, who is in charge of all the technical things for this streaming. Thank you, Jose. And thank you all of you guys. See you tomorrow.